So good morning, join us back on lande. I've got about 36 hours ahead of me now. Can do a night, unusual for me on Guernsey. So again, it's a lovely calm morning. It's going to be one of the hottest days of the year so far. It's the end of April, and it's going to be up into the low to mid 20s. So I got down early. Again, put a bit of bait in a couple of days ago on a couple of spots. And I've just popped rigs out on pop-ups with just a couple of spods on each spot of a particle mix. Hope for a quick bite before it starts warming up too much. Not again. Well, it's been a very uneventful day after that loss this morning. I think it was about 8 o'clock this morning. I still can't quite explain how I managed to lose that. It kited left very quickly. Managed to turn it just before it did me in one of the platform's scaffold. Came back towards me and the hook fell out. Was on the spinner rig, which is the same rig that I lost one on last week, which I don't normally lose fish on, except that having lost one last week, I changed the hook from a quarter curve to a wide gape size 4, which should have given a much better hook hold, but it didn't. And then after that it just went quiet. It's been sort of flat calm, bright sunshine, high pressure all day. I haven't hardly seen any fish once the sun came up, really. There's been a few in the sunning themselves in the reeds to my left, but just the odd one or two, but no signs of fizzing or feeding. Earlier in the morning I was getting quite a few little sort of few beeps on the right hand rod. The indicator was either pulling up an inch or dropping down an inch, and I think that may well have been eels. Even though I'm using a fruity pop-up, they don't normally bother me on the fruity pop-ups, but I suspect it was probably eels. I didn't pinch the hook bait, and fishing a stiff rig, the rig was still fishable. I brought the left hand rod in and fished it just under the rod tip like I did the other week, but I didn't see any fish in close on the shelf at the base of the pontoon, although the water's a bit murkier, but still didn't see anything down there. So I don't know, maybe it's just the weather. The sun's starting to go down now, so maybe things will wake up a bit overnight and maybe get one in the morning. it's ET. There we are, fish we know well. He's known as ET. He's got a bit more colour to him at the moment. He's a weird sort of coy, ghosty, hybrid sort of thing. He sometimes looks really, really white and washed out, almost like he's dead. Looked like E.T. when he was dead in the film, lying in the stream. That's why he was called it Dead E.T. But anyway, he's looking in good nick at the moment. He's 19 pounds on the dot, just before it's getting dark. The sun's just setting, so we'll get him back out. And there's the other side of him. Strange, strange creature. There you go. Phone home, E.T. There we are, that was the successful rig. The spinner rig with a wide gape on it. But I noticed, even though that hook hold was good, the tip was bent over. So we'll change that hook before we get it back out. Well, managed to get everything back out before it got dark. Put another 4 spods out over the spot. Didn't see any sign of anything before that went off, completely out of the blue. So maybe there's a bit of hope for tonight and tomorrow morning. So I was trying to film a bit of lightning on the horizon just as it was getting light, and my GoPro decided that now would be a really excellent time to update the date and time. Obviously, while I was doing that, because it wouldn't let me do anything without doing it, got a drop back on the left hand rod, and there's a nice 23 pounder sitting in the retainer in the margins there. So when it gets a little bit lighter, we'll have a look at him. So here we are, the fish from first light this morning, 23 1/4. Probably one of the bigger of the king carp in the lake at the moment. Hopefully he'll behave. original fish. Well, that just about wraps things up for this session. Nothing more. I've hardly seen a fish since that one at 5 o'clock this morning. It was a bit more hopeful, it was a bit more overcast, a nice southerly breeze drifting in. Looked good for a morning bite, but as I say, absolutely not seen a single fish roll, not seen any bubbling on the spot, nothing. So it's just about time to pack up, and unless something happens while I'm doing that, then I hope you join me for the next session.